Hey, today we're going to be showing you how to set up a home RTMP server with auto scene switching, as well as a plugin to be able to control it from your phone. So go ahead and go to the GitHub. The link is in the description down there. And we got to start by installing some prerequisites. These are extremely important or this won't work. So git. All right, download that and open when done. And once you get here, just kind of power through the installation process. Next. Yes, all that good stuff. You're going to change this to use Nano by default. And then you can just go through and next everything else. Alright, and once you're done with that, we're going to go ahead and uncheck view release notes, go to next, and then we're going to back out, go back to the GitHub, and we're going to grab node.js, another important part of this process, and open that when it's done. And you're basically just going to click next on everything except user agreement, next. All is good here. And let that install. Perfect. And now we're going to go ahead and go back to the GitHub again. And we are going to grab OBS Studio. If you don't have it, here's what it looks like. And we're going to grab an OBS WebSocket. I like to just go to, the browser Google and type in OBS WebSocket server plugin. And it's the very first one right there. Remote control OBS Studio from your phone. Grab the download. Scroll down a little bit here. I like to grab the zip at the very bottom here. So there's a little bit of information here, but I'll walk you through it. Alright, so we'll grab the zip, we'll let that download, and we're going to show in folder. And I like to make another folder for it before I unzip, or else it might put some files all over the place in here and kind of junk it up. So just make a new folder called OBS WebSocket, drag that in there, and then we're going to extract all here. And you have to find that folder in downloads and hit extract. Alright, and now go ahead and just delete that. We got the files we need here. So next we need to find the location that our OBS is at. So open another file explorer. And mine is on the C drive, yours is most likely in the same spot. So this PC, C drive local disk, program files, and then OBS Studio. Alright, so here we have data and then OBS plugins. Alright, so we're going to open up the data folder and we see OBS plugin. So that's already in there. So we're going to go in a little further to OBS plugins and we'll drop this WebSocket plugin down into this OBS plugins folder, continue, and we're good with that. And then might as well close OBS just in case because you're going to have to relaunch anyway. So back out over to the OBS plugins and data spot there. And then we have OBS plugins as well, and then OBS plugins over here. And so drag the 32-bit stuff into the 32-bit folder, and then the same with the 64-bit. You can continue through those. Just make sure you're dragging everything into the correlating file. And we'll grab the 64-bit and drop it in there. Do this for all items. Alright, so we have our OBS WebSocket server plugin. Let's open up OBS now. We can close all that down. Let's open OBS and verify that we have the WebSocket set up, and it's right there under Tools. You can see it's showing. So we got that installed. Let's leave that alone for now. So let's go ahead and make a folder. I'll put mine on my F drive. You can put it on your desktop, on your C drive. Make a new folder, and we're going to title it RTMP, or whatever you want to call it. Maybe RTMP server, RTMP with scene switcher, whatever you want. I'll just call it RTMP for this. Alright, so now that we have that done, we can close that all down for now, leave that folder open, but let's go back to the GitHub, and we're going to go to the button that says clone or download, and we're going to copy this GitHub link, copy, and we're going to go back to the folder that we just made, and left click in the directory, and type in cmd, then hit enter. And then we're going to type in git space clone space and then right click, and that'll paste the link that we just copied, and hit enter, and that's going to download the server files that we need. And then let's go back to the GitHub. We need to grab one more thing here, and down below there's this installation from source. Grab npm install production -- production. And we're going to do the same thing in that same window. Just right click it in, and we're good to go. Now we're going to set some of this up. So go back to the folder and open up the Nginx with OBS automatic low bitrate, and go to Nginx and unzip that Nginx Griffin, and we're just going to extract it all into the Nginx folder here. So go back to where your art, you can just go back and copy it from what you have open and just paste that in the upper directory, and select folder, and oh, I messed up. Paste it and hit go actually, and then hit select folder. Okay, then extract. And once you've had that extracted, you can go ahead and delete the zip file there to not get confused by it. Alright, so let's go back to the main folder here, the Nginx OBS automatic low bitrate switching, and we'll go down to npm install production and double click that, and that'll download all the extra assets that we need. And let's go back to Nginx, and we're going to open Nginx now. So you'll see that just briefly show up and then disappear. That's normal. Open up your task manager and scroll through a little bit and search for Nginx. It's a little green icon. There it is. So we know it's running now. Success. That's good. And there will be a couple instances through here, but as long as you see 1, 2, whatever, you're probably good. Go ahead and close that down. We verified that now. And we're going to go back and open up npm start. And this is our scene switcher. Just make sure that works. You may end up with something that looks more like this, which looks like an error, but we'll fix that in the config here shortly. So don't worry about that. We can close that down for now. And now we need to work on the config file, but before we can do that, we need to be able to edit it. So go back to your browser, and we're going to go ahead and type in Visual Studio Code. And this will allow us to edit that. So download Visual Studio Code right under Visual Studio Code right there. Grab the Windows version, and the link is in the description if you just want to follow that. So we're going to go ahead and open that when it's done, run through the setup. And it's a pretty straightforward installation. Just accept next, next, next. And once that's done, we'll be good to go to edit this config file. And uncheck launch, because we're going to open it from the file right now. Okay, so let's go close that down, go back to our folder here that we made, and we're going to search for config.json file. So right click that, open with, and look for Visual Studio Code. You might have to scroll down a little bit. Mine's up at the top. Alright, so this is the file that's going to control our OBS scene switcher. So let's make a password up here. I'm just going to say password 123, but you could change it to anything you'd like. Unicorn baby or something weird. Normal scene will change to live, all caps. Offline, I'll use BRB, and then low bitrate scene, I'll just do low. We got the refresh scene. The low bitrate trigger is basically what triggers it to change scenes based on your bitrate. So I'll just put it at 750, which is a pretty low bitrate for a stream. And then we're going to change the refresh scene interval to 3000, which is 3 seconds. That's how long it takes to refresh. And then only switch while streaming. I like to put on false because it makes it so that you can really test it out for now. Okay, and then next we're going to go ahead and put our Twitch chat in here. You can leave all the RTMP stuff alone. So under channel, you're going to use your Twitch channel, annoyed with chat. And under bot username, you're going to have to input your bot. My bot is named OGMomBot. You'll have one specific to your channel. And we need an OAuth, which is a key for your bot. So go up to a browser, type in Twitch TV. And first we're going to log into our normal channel. And we have to make sure that our bot has moderator and editor permissions. This is very important. So go to your creator dashboard. And let's see, go to the top left, grab those the 3 bars, go to, I think, community, yeah, community, and go to roles manager, and make sure that your make sure that your bot has both editor and moderator privileges. And once you've set that up, you're good to just log out of Twitch, because we need to log into our bot now. So go ahead and go to the right, log out. Alright, and log back in, but this time to your bot. So I'm going to log in not to Annoyed with Chat, but to OGMomBot, which is my bot for my channel. And yours will obviously be different. So log in, and now that we're logged in, we can go grab the OAuth, which is a key for this program to read your bot. So go up to a new browser window and type in Twitch TMI. And it'll be the first website that pops up. It'll be Twitch chat password generator. And go ahead and grab that right there, copy it. And we're going to go back to the Visual Studio Code and place that in the OAuth parentheses right there. Okay, so enable is just true because that's enabling the bot. Enable public commands, you might as well set that to true. It's kind of a fun thing for your chat to be able to type in like !bitrate. You can see how well your stream's doing. So I like to enable that. So you can go ahead and replace the false under enable public commands with true. And so down here under admin users, you're going to put your stream name, Annoyed with Chat, and you're going to also use your bot, OGMomBot. And if you wanted to add more, you could put a space and then parentheses and type in your favorite mod username who might be helping you out with this. And we're good to go right there for now. We'll brush up on like some of the commands in a little bit here. So go ahead and go up to File, and we're going to just click Save. Go ahead and click, or you can do Control S. Close that down for now. You can close out all this Twitch stuff. Alright, so we've got our scene switcher set up, our Nginx server is on, and let's open OBS and get that all set up. So let's work with the Websocket server settings. Go ahead and go to Tools, Websocket server, enable authentication. You're going to use the same password that you use in that config file for the WebSocket. So password 123, whatever you use there, copy that. Or you could just retype it. I just wanted to kind of make sure you can see. And let's paste it in here. Alright, so now we need to set up the scenes. The scenes need to correlate with exactly the same names that we have in the config folder. So scene 1, we'll do live, which is right there. It's a normal scene. And we'll make the BRB scene, the low, the refresh. So go ahead and just make all those. I believe they're capital sensitive, so make sure they look exactly the same way as they do in the config file. Alright, so we got those done. In order to actually show what's on our phone, we need VLC. So go up to the web browser, type in VLC media player or just VLC, you're going to have to grab the 64-bit. So VLC, the link will be in the description here. And it's very important you get the 64-bit version here, not the 32, or else it won't work. So we'll grab that, go through the installer, very, very basic installer here. And while we're waiting for that, we might as well close OBS because we're going to need to close it and restart it anyway. So we'll go ahead and open this and run through this. Yes, next, 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 all that good stuff we've been doing here. We're almost at the end, I promise. And since you're in the business of listening to what I tell you to do through all this, you might as well actually go over to my Twitch TV channel and give me a follow, a cheeky little follow. That'd be great. Alright, so now that's done, you don't have to run it. As long as you got it installed, we'll hit finish. And let's open up OBS Studio and just verify that VLC is there. So right click in sources somewhere, add, and you'll see VLC video source. Okay, but before we can do this, we have to do some port forwarding. If you know how to get to your router, just go there. If you don't, go to the bottom, type in command, open a command search, and type in ipconfig. And down at the very bottom there, you'll see that is the IP for your router. So you have to access your router by snagging that IP and putting it in the address bar. So it'll look completely different for you. And every router is completely unique. But you're going to have to log into your router. And you're going to go to advanced, probably advanced for you. Search for port forwarding. And you're going to add 2 ports, one for Nginx and one for the Websocket server. I like to name them under other Nginx. Make sure it's TCP and UDP. And you're going to use the address that your computer is using, which is the IPv4 address. So mine is 192.168.221. And that's also under the config. So for Nginx, we're going to use 1935 as our starting and ending port. And for our WebSocket server settings, we're going to go ahead and do a TCP UDP using the same IP address, 192.168.221. And start and end port 4444. And don't forget, your IP config under command prompt is going to be a little different than mine. This will all look a little different for you. So let's go back to our folder here, go to Nginx and Windows Firewall and open firewall. There's literally just a command here that opens the firewall on your computer. Here's what's in the file, 444. It's the ones we just opened up. So now your router and your computer are ready to send and receive signals from Nginx and the WebSocket. So let's finish getting OBS set up here. So let's add a scene and let's add a VLC video source. And you can title this whatever you want, whether it's just RTMP, maybe you're using a LiveU, you could title it that. So hit the plus and then add path/URL. And this will be RTMP://localhost/publish/live. Alright, now that we've got that set up, you can hit OK. And make sure you fit that to the screen under transform, or else you won't see it at all. And you'll think you got a black screen, you won't know that it's not doing anything. Let's go over to the BRB scene. I like to just put like a disconnected image maybe, but for this instance, I'm just going to put some text that says "be right back," so that you can get an idea of what's going to be happening on this screen. So be right back, it's a nice away screen to have, maybe not the most exciting, but let's go to low, and this is your low bitrate scene. So say you drop to a super low connection, But you want to tell your viewers what's going on, so maybe just put some text over your screen here that says low bitrate, just to give them an understanding of what's happening. And this is all just, you know, a tutorial purpose. You might want to spice these up. Maybe use some fancy images, maybe an away video when your BRB screen pops up. And so for the refreshing screen, I like to have like, you know, like something that says, I'm refreshing the stream right now. This is just for your viewers to kind of know what's happening. Obviously, you're going to want to make these interesting. This is just for tutorial purposes. All right, so we got all those set up. Let's go to whatismyip.com. And this is a way that you can figure out what your IP is so that you can put it into your Streamlabs. So it's up at the very top. It's the IPv4 address. That's what you're going to need to reference when you go to your phone. So here we are on our phone. Open up Streamlabs and click the top left 2 bars there and go to Settings, and then Streaming Platform up on top, and scroll down to Custom RTMP Server. So type in RTMP : and then you're going to use that exact IPv4 that we just looked up. I'll put it in, you know, in brackets, your IP as an example. You don't need the brackets. Just put in your IP address and then :1935/publish. And then under stream key, you're going to use live, which is, unless you changed it in the config file back there. So save that, go back, and let's open up our automatic scene switcher here before we go live. So go back, and to open up the automatic scene switcher, you're going to go to npm start. All right, so we double click that, everything's working, and we're having an error receiving the current bitrate because the stream isn't up. So I'm going to hit live on my phone right now, and you'll see that the scene will automatically switch. It's going to start on low bitrate because it's kind of booting up. It's kind of slow, you know, we might have 700 bitrate. And there we go. Now we're on low bitrate with the video, and now we're on high bitrate, normal stream. So we're streaming right now to OBS, and you can see it on OBS from my phone. And I'm going to go ahead and close that, and it goes basically right to the Be Right Back screen. You could also call it an away screen since you're not streaming anymore, whatever you want to call it. All right, so let me run over some of the commands that you can use with this setup. So I'm going to go to my Twitch channel here, and I'm going to pull up my chat, and I'm going to show you that basically if I'm on my channel, in my chat on my phone, and I can type in !refresh. And so if anything ever gets stuck, you can type !refresh in chat, and it'll do a quick scene switch. You don't want the RTMP source on your refresh screen, or else it doesn't refresh it. I can also do !stop or !start in chat. So back on the GitHub, there's a nice little explanation for all of these. You can raid people from your phone, essentially, if you're in chat. Start and stop the stream. You can switch scenes. You can do a refresh, which is really helpful if you freeze. As you know, you can do !bitrate at the bottom here. So definitely you're going to want to, you know, go over those and check it out. So say you're at home and you have this open and you want to like adjust something on the scene, but it keeps switching back. So if you go back to the config file and you want to change that, make sure you change this only switch when streaming to true, and then save that. You'll have to restart it, the scene switcher, which is noalbs right here. So anytime you adjust something in the config file, go ahead and close noalbs. We can close that down, that's from earlier. And just reopen it, go to the folder that you saved it in, I put mine under RTMP over here. And go ahead and open npm start. That's your scene switcher. And remember, in order for this to work, Nginx has to be running on your PC. So now that that's on as true, it's not going to automatically switch unless we're streaming. All right, so now I'm going to go over quickly the Websocket. We haven't really used that yet. What's that for? So go back to the GitHub and scroll up to the Websocket spot where we downloaded that under OBS Studio, and scroll down to the bottom. There's a link here, T2T2 GitHub. So I like to bookmark this on my phone so that I can access it when I'm away from home. If you're home, you can type in localhost, but if you're like at the beach, anywhere away from home, you're going to use your IP address. 444 is that port, and then the password that we used earlier in the config file. So here we have basically OBS remote, and it'll look exactly the same on your phone. So let me show you. If you were on your phone on the left here and OBS on the right, you can switch scenes from your phone. That was the whole purpose of the WebSocket. So you could have like your starting soon screen, you're at the beach, you're getting your LiveU set up, and you can click over on your phone to live. And that's going to switch the scene basically from anywhere that you have an internet connection. And a little trick down at the bottom here is to include your password, add and password equals, and then password. So what I like to do is I like to save this address with the addition of my password first. So instead of localhost right there, because I'm home right now, you're going to have your IP in place of localhost. Then put and password equals, and then put your password. So the password we created earlier was password 123, right? So and password equals password 123. And so now I'm going to be able to connect. I like to take that whole URL right there, except for localhost. I like to put my IP in. I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes. And I like to save that on my phone somewhere. And then you don't have to log in every single time you use that. I really hope this helped you guys out. I hope you guys get out there and do some just chatting IRL streams. Leave your comments below. Come say hi in my stream, and have a great day.